And we're back, folks. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. We're North Georgia's only live online morning show. We are weathering the 2019 storm here in North Georgia, the crisis here. There has been one or two posts in social media that say they see snowflakes. But I'm still showing about 39, 38 degrees. This is our Valentine's Day giveaway. I was told to leave it here and for me to promote this. First of all, how do you get in touch with the show? 706-889-9700. 706-889-9700. There's our email address and all the social media ways to keep up with us. I want to thank our viewers out there for all your kind words. This phone I keep on 24/7, basically keep up with breaking news stories or something going on, or when you, the research team, want to send something to me. So last night, approximately 9:30, I received a call on the hotline here, and it was somebody that said they had an opportunity yesterday afternoon to watch my 22-minute video on why the President of the United States ended the shutdown and what was really going on. And they wanted to tell me how much they appreciated that video and how much they enjoyed it. And I thank you very much for that. So the Valentine's Day basket here that we have, I asked them not to involve me. I said, it's just not my thing. It's not my thing. But I said, you know what? I will help out for some lucky person out there. For one of you that just love stuff like this, and you love to go do everything and post it on social media, and you love to take a selfie, we're at the movies, we're at dinner, and you love to show everybody that you're getting a massage, whatever. This is for you. You know who you are out there. There are $200 worth or more of gifts here. $20 gift card from Carrington Coffee in Jasper, Georgia. You can have dinner at River Street Tavern down here in Ellijay, a $25 gift certificate in there for River Street Tavern. $50 hometown florist. Guys, you can get the roses, the candy, whatever, some balloons. You can get the balloons, Valentine. You can do it all here. $50 gift certificate, hometown florist. 2 movie tickets. I may snatch those. Those I may take. 2 movie tickets over to the fancy theater over here. Just don't go over there and watch some romantic comedy. Oh, well, you can do what you want. You're the winner. Anyhow, 2 movie tickets over there, and Tea Trees Boutique Aromatherapy Massage. Priceless. So that is, and how do you win? You go to Fetch Your News Facebook page. Fetch Your News Facebook page, and you will see all the details on how to win. So we are talking about the crisis and what is going on and what happened in the last crisis. Josh, I want to see a picture here if I can. All right. And I say this jokingly. Let's look at, now we have watched for a year, you and I have, okay? We have watched for probably over a year. We have watched for years. Remember there was that guy Chavez, Hugo Chavez down there in Venezuela. Remember that? You remember Citgo had to like change their name to what, Valario or whatever, something like that, because the American people wouldn't purchase Citgo gas products from this piece of garbage in Venezuela. We watched the dictatorship there for years, you and I. But now today, number 26. What did I tell you, man? Crisis in Venezuela. I mean, it seems like just Friday there was a different crisis. Now CNN says crisis in Venezuela. They didn't give a damn that the people had nothing to eat 6 months ago. They did not give a damn that, the soup of the night. And what is the soup of the night? Well, it's the pet of the... It's your neighbor's pet. I'm sorry, I'm not laughing. Please forgive me, man. Get off my back. I'm not the reason they've been eating their pets. I'm not the reason that there's no dairy products on the shelf. I'm not the reason there's no Cheerios or Captain Crunch. That's not me. But today of all days, this morning, there's a crisis in Venezuela, according to CNN. Not last week when garbage cans were rolling over in America with trash. Not last week when rich people were feeling good about themselves as they bagged up cup of noodles for government employees. No! A whole different crisis last week. Today, we are concerned that the people in Venezuela have been on a real diet plan for 3 years that Americans can come nowhere near achieving at the gym and one of these fad diets. Holy mackerel. I'm sorry, maybe when I saw this, I said, oh, no, please don't tell me there's a crisis in Venezuela. Please don't tell me that socialism has failed. One of the wealthiest countries in South America at one time. I'm sorry, I probably enjoyed that way too much, but you and I have known that Venezuela, there's a crisis and it failed a long time ago. Here is the real crisis. Let me go over a couple things, okay? Number 27. This is the CBO, okay? Congressional Budget Office. Now, the Congressional Budget Office has a hard time getting anything correct, okay? They can't balance a debit card account with $1,000 in it, all right? So we're not going to take them at their word, but here's what MSNBC at 5 a.m. started out with: CBO on government shutdown. Underlying those effects on the overall economy are much more significant effects on individual businesses and workers. Now listen to this, because this is something I've been saying for a long time. Now go back to Venezuela in crisis. Just for a minute, okay? The last one I had. I don't remember the number, Josh. Okay, crisis in Venezuela. I don't know who the news network will be, but there will be that right there, crisis in America. Not crisis because of federal workers. There will be, I may not live to see it. I don't know. I may, because I think it's going to happen pretty rapidly, but we are a very wealthy nation with individual wealth. It could change overnight. But as we start taking, as the government starts taking your money, and they do already, I know what you're saying, they already take my money, but as the government starts really taking your money, and let me tell you something, it used to be big money, but you got $10 million, you have not conquered the entire world if you got 10 million bucks. As they start really taking the money from the people in this country, which they will do, and Democrats advocate for, they want to end private insurance. They want Medicaid for all right? As soon as... Boy, that was rude, and I apologize, but I couldn't get away from that one. But as soon as they start really taking all of your money, that right there will change to crisis in America as it switches. Because go back to number 27, all right? Underlying, and I love words. I absolutely do. I love words, and I love to pick up and pull out what they're really saying here. You are mistaking if you do not think that the America you live in is already a bureaucratic bloated socialist government now, all the way down to your local governments. Done deal, okay? Period. You're mistaken if you don't feel that you're already in a socialist country. Underlying these effects on the overall economy are much more significant effects on individual businesses and workers. Among those who experience the largest and most direct negative effects are federal workers who faced delayed compensation and, ready, private sector entities that lost business. Some of those private sector entities will never recoup the lost income. And the reason I say this is the real crisis in America that was not picked up and run with by anybody that I'm aware of is how our economic engine has been so tied to the government that we could not exist without the government turning, this behemoth turning out money that we don't have. And what I mean by that is every one of you in that camera today on the other side sitting at home, every single one, no exception. You work for, you know somebody, you do business in some way or another, that somehow the government is attached with some kind of value. Look at military bases, okay? Look at the towns. Now, for years, we know that every time, you remember Sam Nunn, and let's go in a Wayback Machine, but remember every time we discussed, you know, maybe shutting down a military base, okay? The economic impact in that area was so enormous, okay? That's your best example of how we got to where we're at today. So if you go to a military base, to get into a military base, you must pass the, 19 pawn shops, the 82 tattoo parlors, and the, all of the motorcycle shops, because first thing they do is they get these kids money and they go out there and they want a motorcycle, they want a crotch rocket or whatever they're called, and you pass all these things. I've been to military bases, okay? And if you were to close that military base down, and that's when these politicians go nuts, the economic engine outside of that military base is enormous. Enormous. Why you immediately close down the town. You immediately close down the town. You immediately have all the tattoo artists out of business and the motorcycle guys that sell motorcycles or ladies that sell motorcycles, their shops and the grocery stores, they start dwindling down and the restaurants start closing because you take the government milk away and immediately affect the economy circling that military base. All right, now that's not my argument for closing down the military base. We have expanded that problem because the area around the military base is just that. It has turned into their economic engine. There's nothing to sustain outside of that base the economic engine. Okay, there's nobody that makes lawnmower motors. There's nobody that makes, bearings. I don't know what it is. But that's the economic engine that's turning everything. Folks, in this shutdown, the truly underlying crisis that nobody picks up is the government has now become the economic engine that turns our economy. You are going to yell trade, you're going to yell trade numbers at me, you're going to yell housing, you're going to yell all these things at me, and I'm sorry to say it so direct. You are wrong, okay? Well, my husband worked for so-and-so, and they've got a contract with this person, but then they also got a contract to where they with the government over here to supply this, or they're a vendor that sells this, or they're tied to this. I'm telling you, that's the underlying crisis nobody pays attention to. It will collapse one day. The behemoth of the government has been exposed for what it is, 800,000 workers in a partial shutdown. What if it was real? And how the economic engine, the underlying engine of the private sector. See, that is the lie that's in this sentence from the CBO. Some of those private sector entities will never recoup that lost income. You're not truly, for the most part, in the private sector, because the private sector takes a whole different economic engine to turn. The economic engine doesn't start at the top with federal employees getting money from the government and then coming and buying your cars and buying your bread and buying your milk. You're not truly a private sector economy. So the number 26, crisis in Venezuela. It may be laughable, but you're going to find out what crisis in America means, and I don't know if we're going to see it in my lifetime, but you will. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. Take a brief break, and then we will come back and talk about Acting Director Whitaker saying that the Mueller investigation may be winding down and what is actually driving the media crazy. We'll talk about that. Take us a break, Josh.